because worm rod, and that's my go-to. But man, I love everything about it. So yeah, I can't wait.
It's about to fit a lot better in your hand too with the new profile on it. So,
man,
yeah, that's something too. So we're live. So we'll say good evening to everybody out there watching. Welcome to another episode. And tonight, as promised, we tracked down our good friend. Throwing my dinner box away. Our good friend Tom with Lose and Strike King, and we were kind of just reminiscing, talking a little bit about the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Van Dam. Fished his last tournament this last weekend, had himself in a spot to win, and ended up finishing up in second place. Through a really cool story, kind of a comeback thing for a dude to get a win and then to take over the Angler of the Year in the Major League Fishing as well. So it was kind of wild. The tournament itself had a little bit of controversy that Wheeler and DC and others were kind of talking about, but that's part of fishing as well. I mean, you can't always account for some people showing up to take pictures and whatnot when there's a major tournament going on, but it's just one of those things. But Tom, you've got to know KVD over the last few years as you moved over and started taking over as being one of the major brand guys at Lose and Strike King. Kind of just tell us a little bit about working with KVD, what it's been like for the last couple of years, and maybe your favorite memory.
Yeah, well, JT, it was sort of a weird feeling, I guess, as this tournament wrapped up for Kevin up at Saginaw Bay. I thought for sure the night before that he was about to win, I think number 29. But I think it was, also at the same time, if you're in a position where you're getting ready to retire like that, to be able to hand the torch off to somebody like Matt Becker, who, there's that picture that MLF put up of him standing next to Kevin as a kid. He looked like he was like 14 or 15 years old. So that's it was almost fitting the way that it ended. And as long as I've known Kevin, it's sort of similar to, I've got a picture of Kevin when I fished the Bassmaster College Classic, and we got to weigh in. It was like 8 college teams. We got to weigh in right before the Bassmaster Elite guys did during the Classic. And Kevin just so happened to not qualify for the Classic that year. And we all know what happened the next year. He won like back-to-back events and was very angry about the fact that he did not make the Classic. But I had the opportunity to meet him as we were getting our boats pulled up to the back of the arena. And he's just standing there when I get out of the boat. And I'm embarrassed because we have like 3 fish for like maybe 6 pounds. And he's like, "How did it go today?" And I was like, "Oh gosh, like it went terrible, Kevin. It was awful." Like, and I was fanboying and freaking out and couldn't get any words out. And our paths have sort of continued to cross. When I was at Major League Fishing, I got to work with him again. And like one thing about Kevin is, as big as his profile is and how great of an angler that he is, he always treats people with respect. And he was the last one in the parking lot. I heard from several people there that night up in Michigan signing autographs. And this sport just means a ton to him. And I don't think he takes any of it for granted. He's so hardworking, and that's what you hear about. Like everybody that's competed against him is he's, first one on the water and last one off. And I think you see that same work ethic when it comes to, how much he cares about the baits with Strike King and how involved he is with the process there. And so it's been a really great opportunity to, and I still fanboy around him, but it's been really cool to have those conversations with him, about stuff other than bass fishing. And, it's hard to pick out a favorite memory, but I think the one that sort of stuck out to me in the moment that I was able to sort of realize, oh, wow, this is really cool. We were at a national sales meeting where we have all the sales guys come in and we discuss new products for the next year and our marketing plan and all of that. And Kevin was there firing everybody up about the brand and his involvement in various baits that we're releasing that we announced at ICast. And we had a break in a meeting, and I went out to the little pond out back, and I'm just trying out some of our new products. And Kevin comes out there to the little pond, and all of a sudden we're just like kind of a sort of a little mini competition developed where it was like, who's going to catch a fish out of here first? And naturally he did. But I remember thinking to myself, I was like, wait, take a mental picture of this, because you are fishing on a pond with KVD, trying out new products. And that was really cool. And I know for Kevin, he didn't realize that, I was looking at it as, wow, man, this is really cool to be able to fish a pond with Kevin on a bank.
He's just out there trying to catch a fish.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he just cared, like the same passion that he has to compete on the water. You see that to win in the space when it comes to creating products, and not just creating great products, but putting them at a price point to where, they're really for, like, they're the angler's brand, without trying to plug Strike King too hard, but the price points make sense and the baits work really well. And Kevin's got a ton to do with that. And so I think he's got Red Crest left and also heavy hitters. So he's got 2 more tournaments. Yeah. But as far as wrapping up his last tour event, I don't really know how I feel about it yet, but all over social, you're seeing everybody post about it and just the impact that he's had. And it's been really cool.
Well, I mean, just the video he posted just before they launched that day, you can tell the emotion. You can tell it was really starting to get to him. It's just like, oh man, he's realizing it too. But I mean, hopefully that means that he's doing, I'm sure he's going to take some time to himself and, do some other stuff too. But I'm sure he's not done. He seems, it's hard, but you never know. I mean, you just never know what lies in people's hearts and what plans they may have too. So it's hard to tell. But I mean, it's it's when a legend moves on and their tournament days are up. It's just like, wow, what do you expect next? But it's we're blessed to have ambassadors like him and others in the sport that have always done it right, worked hard. It still just shocks me, the fact that as long as he's been doing it, and it's Kevin Van, he still drives everywhere. I always thought it's like, oh, these guys hop on a plane and they got their dude that's driving their, factory truck and boat to wherever they're going to be, and they can, pop off a plane and all. No, he's on the road putting in the miles, and that's just the way they all are. I mean, you just can't get past it. But I think with the increase in technology we've seen over the last few years with streaming and showing, and Major League Fishing to me was the one who brought that to life. The first and foremost with the drones and having as much on the water footage as you can, instead of just, oh, we're going to show up at the weigh-in and see what everybody did. The fact that they were over the anglers on the water, in the air, showing us everything they were doing, and then the mindset that it takes, I really love that. That's what really, really got me jacked about Major League Fishing in the first place. And, when you had all those, top anglers there doing it, it just made it that much more fun too. So for folks watching at home, we've got Tom for about 30 minutes tonight. So, Tom, again, thank you for coming in. I know it's a work night and you got a family to get to as well. And you've been on the road doing, I don't think you've had a minute's sleep for the last month or two. So I appreciate you taking the time to pop on to us tonight and holler at us.
Yeah, absolutely. And JT, I'd stay on longer if I didn't commit to a minor league baseball game that our company's got a suite for us and, free beer and pizza. So it's hard to turn that down.
You're not going to get any complaints from me. The Braves kick off at 7:02 against the Pirates. I will be just fine. I'll be editing some videos and watching my team while you're out there enjoying yourself as well. So that's awesome.
We got a matchup between the Fireflies and the Charleston River Dogs, JT. So it is a heated single A baseball rivalry. So I got to be there.
That sounds like it should be more of a bass tournament than
a baseball. Go River Dogs.
Come on now. Tidbit. Tim Tebow actually played for the Fireflies at one point. So
did he really?
That's probably our biggest claim to fame. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
because he did have that stretch where he was. Yep. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what Lose and Strike Kings got going on. We'd hope to grab you in before the ICast, but life happens and all that too. But tell us about some of the new launches that you guys got out there and exciting new stuff. I will say before you get started, dude, my two favorite things so far, that the tungsten jigs and the tungsten thunder crickets.
Yep.
I have absolutely I enjoyed those. Everybody hears me talk about the other ones and this and that, but I've been playing with these for a lot of the summer now, not talking about them a whole lot. I should, but they've been catching the crap out of some fish. And it's phenomenal to me. Just the you guys did a really good job there. I had to stop and give some kudos on that too. But tell us a little bit about what's coming out, and I know not all that stuff. You announce it, but it's normally like the fall or so until it shows up, in the store. So kind of let us know on what's the big stuff that you guys got coming out.
Well, I'll keep it high level and go through my favorite things and the items that I think are going to be of the most use, I think, to anglers out there in general. It's hard to know where to start, but I'll start with the smallest one in the lineup, the Bitsy series. So this is really interesting. So it's obviously just a micro version of several baits. It's got the red eye shad, obviously the sexy dog, and then we also have an inline spinner that's part of that series. And I'm forgetting one of them, but those are the ones that I care the most about, because the first challenge is how are you going to make something this small like walk? But I'm telling you, an event like originally this was planned to be like a pond bait for the pond angler, but people are figuring out that this is a killer like shad spawn or fall like small bait lure. And God, you get so many bites on it. I'm trying to figure out how big of hooks I can go with so I don't lose as many big fish. But I caught a 5-pounder on the 4th or 5th cast with this fishing a river, and the only reason that I was able to actually land it is because it just choked it so bad that it was literally down its throat. The fish survived. But these little hooks, you might want to upgrade one of them if you're fishing like on a lake. Because you will get more, like probably 10 times more bites, but you will lose a few more fish. But if you want to go out and have a great time and catch a lot of fish, the Bitsy series it's really interesting. And it's an innovative feat that they pulled off, because to make something like this walk and be balanced correctly and to still have the same motion as the regular sexy dog, I think is just extremely impressive.
I was going to say, how light a line are you throwing that thing on?
Well, so JT, I was throwing it on, I think one of your favorite reels, the custom light shallow
I knew the reel
spool.
you would have.
Yep. I was throwing it on the shallow spool, and I think I had it on like 8 pounds. I was throwing fluoro though, because I was like, it's all I had on there at the time. So I was like, I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. And it got absolutely destroyed. Yeah, so that one's one of those that I think was a sleeper. It's a sleeper that's actually going to be a really big fish catcher, whether you're fishing in a pond or on a lake. So the other one is actually it's terminal, but it's an exciting piece of terminal. It's the Rage jig head, and so this is a jig head specifically designed for Rage products, like the Rage Swimmer right here.
Yeah,
and this is something I felt like we needed for a little while. Now I don't say that to say that I had any influence in the decision making on why we brought this out. A lot of people have been asking for this, and it's a really great design, and it's got a great hook size. It goes up to I think a 3/0, or actually no, 4/0 is the biggest size, and it goes down to a 3. But yeah, it's made to fit not just Rage swimmers, but Rage craws and everything else in the Rage lineup.
I'm sitting here thinking of Gussie at the Classic throwing a sexy shad on there and Pearl and dragging that on the bottom too. It would be a good little.
Oh yeah, you pointed that out too. That's sexy shad 2.0, brand new color.
I like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then the last one that I've got just on the freshwater side here. I mean, if you guys are looking at this, what do you immediately think as far as like how you would rig it or what this does?
I think the first thing that everybody would think of would throw it on a Ned.
I throw it on a Texas rig.
Of course you
Yeah.
would.
So that's the first thing I said was actually a Ned rig. And then I was talking to Hackney about it because he helped develop this. And it's actually, the body's big enough to hold a 4/0 hook.
Yeah.
So Texas rig. And it's just a really great bed fishing bait. And I think that was actually the original design is when the spawn is going
Okay.
on, being able to put something small and compact in there. And it actually, obviously it's just a different profile because you've taken like essentially like almost like a rage crawl and push the crawls back and almost like it's almost like it's inverse. And I want to see actually if you rigged it the opposite way and made the crawls do this, that might be a terrible idea, but I'm going to try it out. That's for sure. And we're still waiting on larger quantities of these to actually come in so we can test them out a little bit more. But the Hackneys, the KVDs, Dakota E-Bears, all those guys, they've tried them out and have been pretty impressed with them. Just versatility, because obviously you can still throw it on a Ned rig as well. So, as far as just a soft plastic and innovation, I feel like you haven't seen. We got the Scound Bug last year, and that's another new one is the larger size Scound Bug. But the past couple of years, a lot of good plastic innovation there.
Now, refresh my memory. Did they make a bigger Scourge Bug or a smaller? I'm thinking bigger.
A bigger one. Yeah, they had a 3.5 that they released last year, and now they've got the 4-inch.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I love that bait.
Does that bait swim really well?
Oh, it swims.
Because that's what I saw that, and I'm like, swimming that would be, okay.
It like kicks, but they like roll too. It's interesting.
Yeah, you would think it'd be a kind of a funkier action, whereas the Scourge Bug, it has a really good flutter too, because that's great for Texas for finesse jigs. Because I throw finesse jigs more than anything. But then when I saw the bigger one coming out, I was like, oh, there's a Texas rig. Not going to compete maybe with the Rage Crawl, but could.
Yeah,
so, I've thrown
it's a hard one to take down
too.
Yeah, and that's where I've struggled is trying to figure out. All right, I naturally want to go with the Scound Bug because it's new, but the Rage Crawl is just such a staple. I think anytime you want a little bit smaller profile, less action, you might go with the Scound Bug. Or as a trailer, Scound Bug's just an incredible trailer.
Well, and that works great on the back of the Cricket too. So I mean, that's that thing. You turn it sideways even, and you've got all kinds of crazy action. What was the Ned Flapper? What was that one called?
The Rage Hawk.
The Rage Hawk. Okay.
Okay.
There you go, JL Walsh. It's the Rage Hawk.
Almost forgot about one here, which is actually the most exciting thing that we released, which is the Gravel Dog 8, Gravel Dog 10.
Oh, yeah, those looked awesome.
This was Kevin and Todd Castledine's baby right here. So you know that if it's a KVD product, it's going to be right. And, our product development team worked with Kevin to make version after version. And Castledine and Kevin, they stumbled upon greatness here. I mean, it's a 1.5 body, and then you have the larger bill there.
Yeah.
So smaller bite-sized profile, one that dives 8 to 10 and one that's 10 to 12. And also, as far as the colors go, I mean, there's 16 different colors they're coming out with, and they're all like on par with this one right here.
Holy cow, yeah.
Yeah, so you're just this also I think brought the color game to another level as well. So, and if you're somebody that likes pre-spawn, post-spawn cranking, fall cranking,
I throw that in the square bill. That's money right there.
Oh,
yeah. Throw that. I've got a Rocky Bank on Lake Monroe that I'm going to be dragging that on here before too long. So yeah, I love that color.
So that's it on the freshwater, and like I'm not a big saltwater nut until we came out with this stuff. I mean, this is in the past 3 years. Strike King is first they released saltwater versions of a lot of their favorites like the red eye shad and the sexy dog, but you're starting to see some true innovation come out of the mad scientists over there, working with guys like Mike Fournette, big time guides and pros on the saltwater side, and this is called the tidal shrimp. And it's just a super realistic shrimp. And it's actually pretty durable. And the way the weight is set, you can rig it 2 different ways. You have one that you can rig in the middle, and then you have one that's rigged up front. This like wacky rigged style one right here is actually for fishing with a cork. And this is something else we released. It's the popping cork. And you can see those little.
Yeah, so that's a whole
right through
world that
there.
I have no.
It was a new world to me, JT, and I had the opportunity to go down and fish for redfish like a week and a half ago and try some of this stuff out. And it'll give your love for bass fishing a run for its money. I'm telling you.
I've had so many people say that when I saw you posting pictures on Instagram this last week. I was like, holy cow. Even some of the video that you had going with it as well. I was like, but there's a lot of people that say that when, some people who get tired of chasing bass, they go chase those reds, and that gives them the tug is the drug, so they say. And so like, I've heard that. I've heard that a few times.
Yeah, JT, it's like a bass if it was 4 times as big and could bench press 500 pounds. I mean, it's just like straight drag. It takes off the second that you get it back to the boat and you think you're about to land it. It takes off again. It just takes so long to land them because they're so stout. But it was pretty unbelievable. And then you got this right here, which I am trying to figure out how I can make this work in freshwater. This is the plopping cork.
Okay.
And it's intended to be used in the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've seen where it's some way of attracting the fish ahead of the hooks and whatnot, get their attention.
Yeah, and a lot of people that like rip a popping cork, it'll create a big bubble trail and essentially do like a lot of what this does. But I would say on like a calmer day, you'd want to use something like this. And I'd say everybody out there, I would experiment with how you can use this in freshwater too. It's got to work for striper. I haven't really got an opportunity to try it out too much other than on the redfish. But and then the last thing I got for Strike King is these S11 sunglasses. So Strike King has had sunglasses for a little while now, and they've been in that $30 to $40 price point. And typically you would never say, Strike King is in the same field as like Costa or somebody like that when it comes to the quality of the lenses and all that, because obviously the price point is other end of the spectrum. But the lenses on these, they're specifically for sight fishing and just water penetration, and they're incredible. I mean, that's all I can really say about it, unless this won't tell you very much, but unless you try them out for yourself. I mean, they're one of those, they're $40. So you're not gonna have to break the bank on them. Buy yourself 2 or 3 pairs of them. If you lose one, you got a backup pair, and that as far as the quality of the lens, it just makes everything brighter, which you think would be a negative, but if it's super sunny outside, it makes it brighter in a good way. It's hard to explain. But
so for those of you out here, unlike the 3 of us who wear prescription glasses, they're good for being able to see fish, because I mine are sitting over here because but same thing. Jeremy and I have prescription sunglasses, but we tell a lot of people too, even if you don't, sunglasses are always important when you're on the water. For glare protection, for you go to rip that jig and there's no fish there, you need something to protect your eyes as well. But then again, like Tom was saying, to help you see into the water, because until you have good filtering, you don't know what you're missing by looking into the water with all the glare until you put on an actual pair of fishing sunglasses. So for those of you who are looking to not break the budget and go overboard and are looking for something affordable, check those Strike King glasses out too. Because I know I don't know how many pair from Walmart I bought for years when I was still wearing contacts, but these days I just gave all that up and I have prescription everything too. But we want to be respectful of your time because we know you've only got a few minutes before you got to head out. Real quick, I wanted to pick your brain about the new rods you got coming out and when's the reel gonna drop.
So the custom light series, that's been one of the main projects we've been working on the past 2 or 3 years, but obviously ramping it up as we release it this year. It's 28 new actions, new models, and this is essentially the renovation of the custom light series. But in those 28 models, you have 20 casting. 2 of them are BFS to go along with that custom light shallow spool, and you have 8 spinning. And I think it's the HM8 blank. So it's extremely lightweight, extremely sensitive, and it's a great price point. I think it starts at $179. Forgive me, I don't have the price points on the top of my head, but it's as far as if you're trying to stay under the $200 price point, I mean, this is the best bang for your buck, as you see with pretty much all loose products. So if we're going to put it in a price point, we want it to be the best at that price point. And it's extremely lightweight, very sensitive. And then also another rod that is paired with this reel is a new Mock Jacked. So mock combos obviously sort of set the standard for high quality combos that you've seen a lot of people, sort of follow in those footsteps too. But this one is the pinnacle in terms of being tournament grade, and the blank that comes with this combo is the same blank that is on the Signature Series. So really high quality blank with a high quality reel. You get your P2 Super Pinion. And I can't remember the braking system that's in this one, but I would consider this basically a mid price point lose reel that's also paired with a Signature Series that comes in some really awesome colors and is at a great price point.
Yeah.
And then we have the American Hero Camo, which I don't have one of those with me, sadly, because I gave the 3 samples I had away to our product team to get some photos. But that one's obviously going to be great. And it just complements the Tier 1 series, a lower price point than the Tier 1, but a great looking reel.
Yeah. And then the other one. The one that me and Jeremy were.
so here's the old version. Here's Gen 1, which is, I know, a crowd favorite. I love this one. I would have said this is my favorite one, until we came out with this one. So you can kind of compare the side plates there. So what you're seeing there is a
lot smaller.
recessed brake dial. It's still, magnesium, so extremely lightweight. This one's actually 0.2 ounces lighter than this Hypermag. Wow. Also, something that was interesting that I didn't realize that this Gen 1 Hypermag didn't have was the P2 Super Pinion, which was initially added to the BB1 Pro, which was before the Hypermag was already out at that point. So, and basically what that is for anybody that doesn't know, it basically it's a single part pinion versus a 3-part pinion, which is what most reels have. So it just allows for better gear mesh, which means less moving gears, less friction on those gears, so you can cast farther, and it just sort of makes everything more compact and just a better feel, smoother casting. So recessed brake dial, and it just makes it fit more seamlessly in the palm of your hand. These new smaller knobs there, and you can obviously, if you're someone that prefers these wins, you can get those.
I do like the big wins, but yeah, that's cool.
Too. Yeah. I do too. And then you're also going to get the speed knot in there too, which just makes respooling super easy, super quick.
Yeah.
And that's in an 8:3-1. I'm sure you'll see more gear ratios come out soon. But yeah, just a little comparison there. I mean, this one's just so beautiful, and you would have thought it was the most perfect reel in the world if they didn't release this one. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I put that up there. I've played with all the higher end loos with the Elite TI, the Pro TI, the Hypermag, which Jeremy needed a reel, so I was like, happy birthday, bro. Welcome to the best reel you've ever had. And we've thrown all the other brands that went up for years too, but that Hypermag to me, it's just, so I'm glad to see that one coming out, and I'm going to be curious to see how many I end up with at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
But realistically, I was impressed with the Elite TI. I was more impressed with the custom shallow spool. And then I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this one too, because I never realized how much I really appreciated that Pro TI for the longest time, because everybody's like, oh, it's loose, blah, blah, this, that. Compared to dial with Shimano, everybody else, man, that was just the smoothest. And I love that thing. And then I got the Hypermag and I was like, oh, it's even lighter, so I'm really I really can't wait to get my hands on one or a few of these.
Yeah. Well, JT, and my take on it, and not to, I hope this doesn't get me fired, but I feel like if you're shopping for a reel that's like $500, I can't blame you if you go with somebody that's been making $500 reels, $400 reels for longer. But if you're below that, even in like the lower price point up to like the upper 300s, like Luz has always had that model of best quality at the price point. And I don't have enough Elite TIs and Pro TIs to necessarily speak to that from personal experience, because I'm trying to ball on a budget here and use some product samples. But I can tell you that the Hypermag is exceptional, and it's also very it's it's very versatile. Like you can do a bunch of different things with it. You can flip, you can crank. You know, it holds a lot of line and it casts really far, and it's got a 20-pound drag, so you can just do a ton with it. And I mean, you have to be with a reel like this,
way better than the Tula 100. Sorry. And
I don't want to call anyone out, but I do know.
As you know, with my partnership with American Legacy, I can play with anything I want. So I've played with the Metaniums, I've played with the Bantams. They're okay. To me, I don't get is. And you know what Cooler Lid actually says, and this is really what it comes down to. It's about your hand, your style. Liz has probably got, different style hand and fingers than me, and I got the short and stubbies. So I really like the smaller frames that I can get my hands around. But I've played with them all, and what I go fish my tournaments with is really what for me, sets my table. I have a mix of all of the major brands, and each tool has a spot in the arsenal. And that custom light shallow spool had no issues getting right into the starting lineup. After 2 days on the water with it, and you told me how much I would love it, and I did. But I mean, it's just one of those things. You really have to find what fits you. There's some Daiwas that fit other people. There's some of the Shimano stuff too. I mean, everybody's got their kind of thing, but if you don't play with them all, you don't know them all. And I try to do that, and then I each one to itself too. But yeah,
that's
so
when is that going to be?
When is that one going to be hitting the market? Am I going to have
November?
It by Christmas?
November it'll be available.
Okay, so we might be able to go fishing before we get froze out, and then for sure we'll have it in the springtime too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Santa will get his hands on some of them, but
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I mean that's a good point that you made about just how it fits in your hand too, because if any of you guys are familiar with Big O, Steve Parks, the founder of Rage, that guy, religiously flips and punches and is throwing a frog and all of that. So he only uses Super Duties, and that's because he has like massive hands. And we sent him a super low profile, and he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? So yeah, everybody's different. All right.
So I know you've got to get out of here, and I will get this information, to you after we get done with the show. But one of the things that we were blessed to have is Tom and Losing Strike King partnered up with Team Gramps for the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series. And we said we were going to do a tier 1 rod and reel combo. So the only people that are in this wheel are the people that participated in the month of June, because we've done all of our other giveaways. We wanted to make sure that Tom was here when we did this one, since they sponsored this month's tournament of June, which oddly enough, Jeremy took the winning slot in that one, probably throwing the hyper mag.
Yep, that's what got me in.
So yeah, that's what got him on Team Gramps for our trip down to Gunnersville in November. So yeah, so I am going to real quick. We'll just get this. I'm gonna shuffle this up a little bit. They were in alphabetical order. We had 41 people fish my event that month too, and we'll just go ahead and spin it and see who the winner is. But Tom, we thank you guys again for the support. And let's see, Jermaine, our boy, Main Fishing. That he is gonna love this. Great supporter of the channel, great YouTuber himself. It's good to see one of our good friends up there win this combo too. So I'll reach out to Jermaine and get his preferences. Yep.
He can't get that before the Knucklehead because he's competing against us.
Well,
I'm just playing, Jermaine. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is super awesome too. So we thank again, now that the series is over, I want to thank everybody who participated and supported. We've got multiple people that are fishing fan members that are still competing in other series to try to get in. Our good friend Sly Fox Fishing is out there, I think, in second place in 2 of the other for the aggressively average angler guys. And there's other folks out there fishing too, but we can't wait for November for this big knucklehead gathering down at Gunnersville in November on Veterans Day weekend. And we sure look forward to it as well. But Tom, I will get his information and get that sent to you. And I'll do that. And, I'll let you hop out of here because I know you got a ball game to get to. And we thank you again for stopping in and giving us a quick update what's going on at Lose and Strike King, and sharing some love with KVD with us too, man. It's always good to see you pop in, and we appreciate your time.
Definitely.
Absolutely. You guys are the best. I'll do it again anytime. So let's set something up, and thanks everybody for joining.
All right, good sir. We appreciate you. Have a good night. We're going to keep rolling here for a little bit.
Take care.
All right. See ya.
All right. Good luck. Have fun at the game. Oh, dude, that's so awesome. I love when we get awesome guests like that.
Yeah, he's such an awesome dude right there.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize, too, dude's a freaking stick. I mean, he was in the College World Series for bass fishing, too, So it's cool when we have guys who are actually not just sales guys and, the main dude who, it's really cool. But they know what they know how to fish too, and they
definitely
smack down. So it's cool. And then just ever since he was Major League Fishing, he's been a supporter of the channel. That's all that stuff too. Ralph, I didn't forget you when I send that information for Jermaine over. I'll send that reminder to get you taken care of too. And 100%. Now, Liz, I do agree with you on the fact that the SVTW fit like a glove, because that's really why I love that Zillion so much. But that's my primary heavier duty. And Ralph, you're 100% right what they do for veterans, because a lot of people don't realize, like with the Tier 1 stuff for American Hero, they have an ambassador who goes out and fishes a lot of the tournaments and whatnot too. But then they also, collect rods, reels, gear, and stuff like that, and do a lot for veterans benefits, charities, things like that as well. So it's always cool when we get to partner up with folks to go out and and make a difference in people's lives too. So that's really kind of cool. So. Yeah, man, that's awesome. So, the funny thing is, had we had him longer, if he hadn't had a company ball game to go to, he probably would have had some stuff to give out tonight too. But we'll bring him back at a later time too. But we appreciate his support for the Knucklehead, and again for everybody, Liz, Sly, all you guys, Ralph, even who's in a boat, who doesn't really fish, out of a kayak or the bank all that often, still participated. And actually won one of the prizes. He got that Dakota Lithium, battery that he can use in his boat too. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, we had to go live early tonight because Tom, he had a ball game to get to, and we wanted to be respectful of his time too. How are you doing on tackle for vets? Man, we've got so much. Jeremy has a collection, and honestly, this year, it's not as fast, I guess we can say, as it was last year, because Jeremy had more recent folks that he met. We've actually got some more combos that we're going to be building, and Jermaine won, Brown, or Brendan, and so we got in six or seven Akuma spinning reels. If you guys saw those last week from a grateful donor out there. And I will probably go out and find, some probably towards the end of the season, and find some Walmart rods or whoever's got them on sale, and pair those up with those spinning reels. And then that way, especially come springtime, we get back out and we start holding, events and, doing some more gatherings. Then we've got more combos that we can give away to veterans. And Jeremy's working on creating bait packages and things like that too. So because of great, we had some gracious donations from, who out there, she probably doesn't want me mentioning her name, because we don't want, her to, feel like, because she didn't want us to say nothing, you know what I'm saying? Wink, wink, nod, nod. Donate a bunch of used plastics as well for Jeremy to melt down and repurpose with our Do It molds, and put those into doing, bait packages for, folks that we run into. So this way we're going to be super prepared and have even more stuff ready to go too. But unless you've just got, Jeremy, we don't need to collect anything else right now, do we?
Right now, we don't. I have a box full of baits I've made and packaged up, and
Yeah.
I'm also going to be at the Knucklehead event. We're going to have a lot of veterans there, and
Yeah.
so I will make sure that some of the new stuff I'm making is going to be going into their hands for that tournament.
But even from previous donations, we got so much line and baits, and
yeah,
there was a lot of stuff too. So I think right now I'm not going to open anything back up for sending more stuff, just because I don't want Jeremy to run out of space to keep stuff too. Because realistically, unless we run into somebody just completely random when Jeremy's doing his work, or going to the VA or whatever, and he has encounters, he always keeps one kind of in his truck with him, in case, or if not, then he's like, if he gets to talking to one of the guys. But a lot of the guys that are going through treatment or going through, whatever the situation may be, they'll talk to Jeremy, but it's not like they don't want cameras in their faces and things like that too. A lot of the times it's when he's doing these are one-on-one conversations, topics, things like that. And then he gets them out on the water and gets them, it's just easier that way. It's not like we're going to get, we couldn't get Jeremy on camera for forever, and it's taken this long for him to be able to do this too. So we respect the privacy of these guys and their willingness and or shyness to just, be on a bunch of, because a lot of guys, they don't look at it this way. It's, we consider every one of our, brothers out there heroes, and, they don't. They're just everyday dudes and want to live their life, and, they don't want to sit in front of a camera like we do. It's just kind of a different thing. So we're respectful for their place and time. A lot of times just having conversations on the water are difficult conversations because, they're opening about things in their life that terrify them. And, sometimes just having a fellow veteran that they can, bend an ear with and make some casts, it makes all the difference in the world. So again, we thank you. We thank you all for, supporting those adventures, so to speak. But you'll see, Jeremy and I's focus kind of changed a little bit this year because of the possibility of, him having surgery on his arm. So realistically, this is, we're going to go down in October, and yes, you will, good sir. We're going to go down in October and fish in the KBF State Challenge Series Championships. And this is like, this will be probably the last big tournament stuff that we really, 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 really want to try for. Now, that's not to say we might not go out and fish some Bassmaster events for fun, just to be able to go travel, stuff like this. But we don't know what Jeremy's arm's going to be like in January. So this is the swing for the fences. See if Jeremy can get on the podium, because why not? If not you, who, right?
That's right.
So that's been our focus, is getting prepared and to go to this. And then obviously when we go to Knucklehead, that's going to be fun. Sure, we're going to try to catch big fish, but that is going to be a pure about you guys, fun, good time, and, and putting the smack down on some big fish, talking some smack, and having a fun, Should you bring a table and make baits live at the river? Dude, that would be cool. Jeremy's going to bring some baits and talk about, molds and stuff like that too. And yep. I think Chad would love seeing somebody there talk about bait making and things like that too. Because, he wants us to go through and do some, some lectures and things like that too. Just because,
it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, we're hoping that if he reaches, we're hoping he can get, some word out to like the local military community there. And we have a pretty decent veteran turnout who may have never been fishing or kayak fishing or, any of that stuff too. So, you never know who's going to show, but it'll be kind of fun. But we're going to get there a few days before. We're going to go fish. We're going to have fun. We'll probably stay a few days. I plan on taking some vacation, and, as long as we can stay, we will, because we really want to enjoy this, and it's like the last big thing of the year too. So, and then next year it's going to be a whole lot less rods and reels and baits and reviews and a whole lot more fishing and camping and adventuring. But I've made promises to people out there like Cairo, who still want to learn knots, because she loves watching knot videos and trying to figure out how to get them done. So I'll continue to do those kind of things on Gramps, and then Two Brothers Outdoors will be all focused on fishing and camping and the outdoor stuff. So that's the goal. Put the drone to use and stuff like that too. That's
and
not
there
good to you,
will
bro?
be videos coming from me very, very soon.
Yeah.
I finally
Jeremy.
got past the should I or should I not do it, and I decided, with the encouragement of some people, I will be doing some videos, and they'll be what they will be.
Yeah, they're gonna suck, and then they'll get better. It's just the way. That's how we all. Yeah.
I'll be out catching fish. If the video quality isn't that good, at least you'll get to see some awesome fish catches.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is true. So sweet. Well, I don't know. I think 2 lives in a row. It's been a pretty good night. I should probably go find me a piece of chicken and then get ready to watch me a ball game.
You might
Baker says next week you have a package for me. JT, can you please send me my address? Yes, I will. I'll shoot that to you on the Instagrams. Myself, I got to go open up a new phone thing because my charging port apparently died in my phone. And it's not, I use wireless charging like anybody else, but I use this to take a lot of video, especially when I'm shooting shorts. And if I don't have a charging port that I can't pull my videos off of, it does me doesn't do me a whole lot of good. So I had to cash in on the insurance on my phone for today and get a new model, which arrived today. So yeah, here's hoping my phone transfer goes complete tonight so I can get back to getting the videos I need, and then get some videos edited and put up as well. Did you guys, it's funny. I got to mention this because it happened, but it really shocked me. I stuck up a video on Instagram last week of I was driving past a boat ramp with side scan on because I'm sitting there playing with settings and this and that. And I was like, oh, look, boat ramp. And then I went to the side scan, the side imaging on my Helix, and I was like, oh, look, boat ramp. That video on Instagram right now between Reels and Facebook was sitting at 1.2 million views. That is insane.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it really shocked me because the most popular video I've ever put up on YouTube was appropriately on this Texas rig. It's sitting at like 940,000 views. And then my Stupid Tube videos like at 800,000 views or something. But yeah, when I looked at Instagram, that one little video, and then Hummingbird liked it. I'm like, well, you should. I'm on the pro staff from Old Town. It's partnering with, he's
right.
Well, partner with I'm actually pro staff with Johnson Outdoors, which is Hummingbird and Dakota. I'm sure Hummingbird has whoever their social media person is has no idea who I am. But then I think when they realize this video's got over 1 million views, we probably should like this and then put the little fire, little fire emojis at the end of a comment. So I thought that was pretty funny as well. But it literally just shocked me that, I think the most views I've ever had on any one piece of content was actually your PB Smalley with like 4,000 some odd views on it.
Oh, wow.
And then this freaking thing, well, dude, that was a damn tank.
Right.
Come on. But it's still sitting at 1.2 million views on Instagram. And I just thought that was just nuts. Of course, it's one without me actually in it, but yeah, hey, whatever. I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty well. Oh, and I crossed over 2,500 followers on the Instagrams.
2,500
Gramps. 2,500. Yep, that's pretty. Oh, there's the notification for the Braves. First pitch getting ready to kick off. So yeah, dude, 2 back-to-back. You know what? I'm gonna share this with the fishing fam while you guys are here tonight. Hey, is Clint in the chat? I don't know what name he goes by on YouTube, but it was kind of funny. I got into a conversation with somebody today, and he was like, "Oh wait, you're fishing with Gramps." And yeah, I was somebody was asking for, it was about getting some help for, how to upload fish properly to Fishing Chaos. He had some issues with the he had some issues. Yeah, don't forget us small guys when you get big, Gramps. That I'm as big as I'm going to get. I'm trying to go the other direction. No, we don't expect old Gramps to be up there in the 100K club, but you just never know. Maybe me and Jeremy can do it with Two Brothers Outdoors. That would be kind of cool, because realistically, that would be the content that would really be us showing who we are and what we like to do and why we love what we do. And then you get to see the puppy dogs a little more. We're going to do some, episodes with other folks on the water and maybe some little challenges, stuff like that too. Speaking of which, it got sidelined tonight, but Jeremy is going to be in the second episode of the Hoosier Bass Yakin little challenge thing. And they're actually going to be on his favorite little lake over there. So you're going to get to see live on the water where Jeremy likes to fish. One of the guys said that was supposed to be in the show tonight, had a small medical emergency. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. But, it was one of those things they decided to postpone this episode for a little bit. So I'll post it all over the socials and in the community tab and all that when Jeremy's going to be appearing on that too. But he too is going to be out there on the water with a bunch of state hammers throwing down. But it's not like he can't pretend he's not one of them, because he's been up there in the state challenges for the last several months, making his name heard. And, so they all know who he is now. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool too. And, it's the format is going to be different than the one I did. And we won't say anything about it because they'll tell you that night when they get on the water, but it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't
With
wait
all that
for it.
said, Jeremy, we're gonna go switch our course and our headings over to chasing smallies here soon.
Well,
Because we're both in the KBF Smalley series, and we're gonna start dedicating some time to chasing those Browns babies in the creeks and rivers. So we're supposed to fish Friday. That's the initial game plan, but I'm hearing we're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of rain between now and then as well.
We are getting hammered right now.
And
just north of us is getting like blasted. It's rain.
Okay, so
it's yeah. We need to reassess safety issues.
Yep. So we'll pick a pond or something Friday, because I don't think it's supposed to rain Friday.
Right.
But if it's raining we got a flash flood warning here, so I know that's going to raise the rivers up there and down here. So we'll come up. We'll me and you will chat tomorrow, and we'll get together, fish somewhere Friday. And cooler idea. I will be throwing. I got the stupid tubes ready to go.
I even have one tied on.
There we go. So yeah, well, if we can't get out and chase smallies this weekend, we'll go. We're gonna do it. We just got to pay attention to the weather. Unseasonably lots of rain. Unseasonably lots of rain late in the summer instead of when we need it earlier in the spring, and that's brought a lot of tornadoes and hail and. I don't, trust me, I don't mind the cooler weather. That is for sure. But, floods and so forth. Yeah. So Daniel's already saying flooding like crazy. They're on the west side of Indy. So we know the white's going to be out of it too. We need to get Daniel in a kayak and meet us at the river one of these days and do a float with him. That would be pretty awesome. I need to, when I get my new trailer done, and I'm hauling more than, because I've still got a trip. You guys are going to see an adventure going to happen. Because a trip to Lake Fork, and Chad is actually giving me crap. I wish I could post the pictures he sent me last night, but I think he's supposed to wait. I think I can't say nothing about a couple of monsters that he caught until he releases this video. But him and Gene were together, and they caught, I can't say, he caught some fish, night fishing. But so we got to get, when I get my trailer picked up, we got to get Daniel and get him in a kayak one of these times. And get him out there too. So, he's not that, he's up northwest side. And if especially if we go up and do a tippy float, then we can get him out there too, and get him out there and get him some experience on a kayak as well. I know he's got kids and so forth, and he's got he's making a living bank fishing right now. But I'd love to get on a body of water and float with him, and float with him as well too. And we're gonna, again, that's what me and Jeremy's really, once the tournament stuff is that passes, this season, it's the focus next year is going to be showing you guys where we grew up fishing in all the places around the Midwest that we like to go fish. And we're going to show everybody. So if you're brand new and you're in the Midwest and you got a kayak or something, you're going to see where we go. We're just going to spill all the juice. We don't care. Our goal is to get people into fishing and 100%. And that's going to be our goal. So yeah, over the winter format will change a little bit. Sure, I'll still tackle talk and do all that stuff here, but Two Brothers Outdoors is going to get a lot of our attention, and that's going to be the goal. So here we'll keep teaching it, and there we'll be showing it. And we figured that's the best way to do it. We'll still do our podcasts and our live streams from here, but 100% Two Brothers Outdoors will be the adventure out doing it too. Sound good to you, bro?
It sounds great. And Sly Fox, congratulations on your upgrade. Keep hammering, bro.
Oh, what'd he get? Oh,
hey,
sweet.
He just said he got an upgrade.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. He was in second and within reach in one of them. He's like 84 or 86 or something. I got to pull up the old Fishing Chaos while we're sitting here since it's a couple minutes before the ball game starts. But yeah, I was so glad. I'm glad to see him still continuing to be on that tear that he's on too. Jeremy needs to share some of that guide knowledge and cheat codes, and we'll be doing that too, because especially in starting in probably November after we get back, the live streams that we're going to do, that's when you're going to see it's truly going to be it's truly going to be the Two Brothers Fishing podcast, and we'll do it very similar like a lot of other people do. We'll do the live show here like this and that, but it will be video, or it will be a topic specific podcast. So like I told Jeremy, we'll talk about Texas rig. We'll talk about what he throws for a Texas rig, what I throw for a Texas rig, rod reel, all of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So each episode of the podcast will be topic specific, and I'll pick his brain and we'll just go through everything. And we'll do that too, but we'll do in audio. So we'll start pushing it out to Spotify and Apple Music and everybody, like a lot of the other ones do. It's just going to be the two brothers doing it. And it's just the way it is too. And then we'll put Matt in from Freedom Squad, here and there, and other guests as well. But when we have topic specific, podcasts, then that's what we'll do during these live streams too. So we're trying to make a game plan and work our way to it, if that makes sense too. But that doesn't happen without you guys watching, so we can't thank you all enough.
When are we going to Fork? You said something in casual speaking about a trip to Fork.
That's in definitely in September. Don't know when.
I got the map. It's all marked up and ready to go.
Chad says we need to make a detour on the way from Fork to Gunnersville and spend a day or so with him, throwing frogs.
Oh, on the way back from Fork, so we can show him all these tanks we caught, and maybe break some.
Well, he wants to do an initial video on the trailer, to help promote them as well.
Right.
And so I figure, if we figure out a way to stack the kayaks and the trucks, then we can trailer them over. After we get done with Fork, we go to Gunnersville for a day or two. And then, we head north from there too. So
I'll be in the back of your truck holding on to the kayaks to make sure we get them there. One way or another, we're going to get them there.
Yeah, if we have to stack them up and then put them on the trailer when we get down there, if that works.
Right.
So we'll figure something out, but that way we can do it too. But I figured that'd be a good little vacation. I think we've earned it.
Oh my God. Going back to Fork. Duh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Yeah. So Jail Wall said, I'd be interested in the go-to gear, pliers, cutters, nets, etc. for former guides function and view. Oh yeah.
A lot of that stuff has changed, but yeah, we can talk about that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, we've been on for an hour. I'm about 2 minutes away from the Braves pitching the first pitch, and I need to get some videos edited because I've been lacking and slacking. But yeah, 2 good lives in a row. So if you guys haven't watched the live from last night, if you missed it, we actually got a really good comment. Darren got this text today, and he sent it to me. And I'm going to share it with you too, because Jeremy was like, "Well, what do you think about how it went and everything?" And I'm just going to read you this comment, and this is what somebody texted Darren. Said that might have been the most informative and practical fishing podcast I've ever listened to yet. I actually just got out a pen and paper so I can take some notes, and will listen to it again after my lunch break. So, I mean, I'm glad to see that somebody got it. Somebody got out. Got some information out of what we were sharing, because you're not in competition with us, folks. We're just out here to share what we know, and help everybody grow. And I'm actually real quick.
Hey, he left me on live by myself.
I know.
Uh-oh. No, I was like, I'm going to mess this all up.
I had to share this because the more we talked about doing all these other adventure things too, Jeremy was like, you still need to keep teaching because that's what you're good at. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of a quote that I saw from somebody the other day, but it says, you can count the seeds in an apple. You can't count the apples in a seed. And that strikes me because every new apple that we get out there, does the same thing. They share the love for what we're doing. And, it goes back and it reminds me of all the messages I've gotten over the last few years since we started doing this, for somebody telling me, and, Jeremy and them will tell you, I always, it's not, it's like I'm not some celebrity or whatever, but he's like, it's not really about that, dude. It's about the people that you're reaching that you don't even know that you're reaching. But the dudes that you do reach, and, the guys and gals out there that you do reach, I've gotten enough messages from enough folks to know that if I ever got tired of doing this, there's been so many people that reach out to me to say that we've impacted so many people's lives, that I can't stop doing this forever, and I've always said that I'm leaving this for an archive for my, friends and family and stuff like that too. But, for all the people that we've actually reached out to, or that's reached out to me or Jeremy and told us what an impact we've had on them. I always, it's like, not really, but it's heartfelt, and I know it is. And so, it's just one of those, yeah. Well, we'll keep doing fishing with Gramps, and we'll start doing some adventures too. So, but this quote just kind of hit me too, because every seed out there that becomes an apple, that's one of those people that we've reached without knowing we've reached. And then sometimes they reach out to us, or they send us boxfuls of stuff that we don't even ask for, so that we can help take care of somebody else too. And you guys make that happen. It's I talk about the number of hours I sit around editing when I could be out fishing and this and that, but this is what makes it worth it too. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I saw that quote and I had to write it down, and I told it to Jeremy the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah. He's like,
it's
yep.
True, bro. It's true.
Yeah. And yeah, just knowing that you're here, and even watching your progression over the last couple of years, if you've been able to deal with things and come on and do this, and then now share your stuff with the folks too, it just makes that big of a difference too. So love it. But it's all for you guys, and it's all because of you guys. If there's nobody watching, then there's no point in doing it, but there's always somebody watching. You guys are here every time we go live, and I can't thank you guys enough for all everything that you do, and it means the world to us too. So we'll keep this thing going and keep growing and have a good time while we're doing it. Tell them later, bro.
Later, everybody.
As always, get outside when you can and make some memories. Me and Jeremy are going to try to this weekend if we don't get flooded. One cast at a time. Y'all take care.